There we go. Finishing off with the last game. Sharks 19 defeat the Knights 18. You was chatting to Acco after the game. That was a giggle. Fletcher.
Yeah, he didn't give much, did he? Doesn't give much away. I said when he had that kick from the sideline after Ronaldo's try, I asked him, I said, what was going through your head? Just get it, which is pretty simple.
Matty said something straight after. He's like, he paused for the effect too, like he was waiting for a bit of a giggle. That was delayed as well, I think. I thought he looks like a bit of a character.
Yeah.
Even in that, it was only, 3 minutes you got out of him, a couple of one-liners. But I don't know much about him. He just looks like a character for some reason.
Tell you what, he can play. If my memory serves me correctly, didn't he kick the winning field goal against Melbourne as well?
So this is now 3 occasions that he's played without Nico Hines and Braden Trindle. They're 3 from 3.
Yeah.
They play a simple style of footy when the others aren't there with Nico and Braden Trindle, and they just try to go through the front door.
Yeah.
Sifatalakai's been really good.
They, that was the last throw of the dice for the Knights. So that was a good win because the Knights were up for this game, and as we saw, it was right at the death that the Sharks got it. We got all those dramas. People are talking about these blockers, and they're all offside. You can't have blockers. That's that's the simple fact.
Did you hear Adam O'Brien said after it, the way that they explained it was if Matt Croker, for instance, on the Cullen Ponga field goal attempt, he has to be in position to catch the ball. As long as he's in position to catch the ball, then he's fine.
He can't be in front.
They were trying to remove it from, when they were stacking up 3 in a row next to the dummy half and there was no way coming through.
Yeah,
I can see why there's frustration from Adam O'Brien and Knights fans because that's their season.
Yeah.
And Matt Croker didn't move off his line, and either
but he was in front of the dummy half, wasn't it? Is that
no? Not from the angle that I saw. I thought he was, at least in a position to receive the ball to begin with. Maybe he drifted forward, and you're not allowed to do that. I don't know. There might be some technical side that we haven't been made aware of that maybe the coaches were, but it looked like he held his line. And then even worse, down the other end, when Kalen, and this is what Fitzy brought up after the game as well, he goes, players will start playing for it.
Yeah.
And Kalen clearly did that. He seen it happen down the other end, so he pretended to run in, I think it was Rudolph or someone like one of the middles. And
just have your kicker back deep, and you nailed it like Acco did.
Yeah.
That's to get rid of any sort of inkling there's going to be a blocker.
They can kick him so far.
Get a quick play of the ball, as quick as you can, fire it back, and they could kick it. Even if they're 20 metres back or 15 metres back, they're still going to nail it.
Yeah, they can. You've seen like guys like Osaka on that. They kick it when they do dropouts. They kick them like 60 on the fly sometimes.
I know it's very hard to do, but Sharkies, they survive. When is Tricky back?
Not too sure. He had they said it was a hamstring strain a couple of weeks ago. He was even a chance after they beat, I think it was the Tigers. They said he's a chance of coming back next week. Now he's missed 2 games. So I'd imagine he's pretty close. Nico's got the Liz Frank. Is that right? Is that what he's done?
No, I think he was in his Cinders.
Oh, Cinders?
So it's either one of the two. That's the only injuries you get.
I feel like there's
the only 2 injuries.
Yeah.
Lizzie, Frank.
That's it for the Knights for you?
Yeah, they're gone.
I thought they were done before this round anyway, but that cements it.
They're gone, but look at the mighty red and whites.
They're humming. They ruined the party for Foz in his 300th, and they move and sort of, in my opinion, I think they've locked up the 8. I know the Dolphins are there, but the Dolphins are fading not only during games but also at the back end of the season. Now Broncos, no Reece Walsh. We just talked about the Knights. The Dragons put themselves in a really good position right now.
Well, they're, as they just keep winning, they'll be in the 8, but it's their differential. See, the Dolphins are in the positive. Dragons by far the worst in the 8. So you never know. It could get. They've only got to drop 1, and as you've been saying, they've been win-loss, win-loss. The Dolphins with their better for and against, they're only 2 points behind. So what's the Dragons? They've got a pretty. What's the Dolphins draw? It's pretty.
Dolphins. I think they've got. Here we go. I'm looking over it. Got it over here. Where are we on the left?
Storm, Broncos, Knights. Well,
Storm, Broncos. Yeah. So they won't beat the Storm down at Melbourne. So that's a loss, and then they're going to be. They could be 4 points, if not 2 points. Broncos at Suncorp is a lot. It's
winnable.
Winnable. 4 weeks ago, you would have said that would have been tough for them, but that's winnable, and they can beat Newcastle. I suppose. Yeah, they're still alive. Yeah, Dolphins are still alive.
It's only those 2, really.
But they've been hurt badly by the Jeremy Marshall King injury, in my opinion.
Are you a Maxi Plath fan?
I love Max Plath, but I think he's a lock. I think he's a Ruben Cotter.
Yeah. He's a lock.
What about the Titans? that's it for them. They were going on a bit of a run, and they got humbled by the Sharks last week, and then dragged it into this week.
That's well coached. They what Cronulla did against the Titans, just playing through the middle.
Yeah,
and they couldn't handle it. And that's what the Dragons did.
Very similar teams, aren't they? The Sharks and the Dragons
played through the middle, and the Titans, for whatever reason, I mean, you got to get more out of Dave Fifita. You're getting paid $1 million. We need more from you.
You know the thing with Dave too, and I noticed this watching him, even when they're on this bit of a streak, he does his best work in the second half. Remember when he used to come off the bench? I threw this out there to Mace one time. I said, do you reckon he likes coming off the bench? Because he likes coming on when players are fatigued and running through them. And I seen when they were winning 3 or 4 in a row, if anyone or if there are any Titans fan, I think they'll test this.
Yeah.
His first halves were questionable. Remember when Jesse Bromwich ran straight through him against the Dolphins?
Yep.
Second half, brained him.
Yeah.
In about 3 weeks in a row, he brained him. So for whatever reason, because the Titans have fell behind so far, he hasn't been able to get himself into the game and then come home strong.
Can't give a bloke $1 million or 1.2 and only getting 40 or 50 minutes out of him.
And they've got the Roosters this week too. That'll be a spiteful.
Yeah. Wait, is that at home? No, it's at...
I think it's at Allianz.
No, I think it's at Seabus.
It is at Seabus. Yeah, you're right.
They've only got the one more game against the Raiders. Bulldogs, here they come. Bulldogs 30 defeat the Dolphins 10. This was a danger game for them.
Yep.
Dolphins had everything to play for. They're basically at a home crowd up there at Bundaberg, but this Bulldogs side, we've been saying it all year, they work so hard in defence, and you just can't... They've got the best defence now in the comp. Better than Penrith, better than Melbourne.
Yeah, and Mace was saying...
is he taking credit for it, Mace?
Yeah, big time. Yeah. It's just... At the start of the year, he had him spoon with me, and now he's claiming him halfway through.
Did you have him with the spoon?
I had him as the spoon. Yeah. Did you would have had him bottom 4 though, the Bulldogs, with the roster. They had no middles. They still got no, as in size in the middles. Have we got the updates there?
Yeah, what the updates? I did have him. I did take.
No one had him top 8. Please.
I had a bet on him, $4.25 for the 8.
At what time? At what part of the season?
Start of the year.
Oh,
but I had a few.
Okay.
I also had.
You throw enough darts, you're going to hit something.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I backed South for the spoon. That's right.
Yeah. Wow. That was so close before.
This was my rank thing. I had the rookie of the year, Duffy, kid playing for Cowboys. Hasn't played one game. Not even. I
was going to say, who is he?
Not even 1 minute.
You know what I want to see too? All this chat around the race for the grand final week. I don't think. Oh, Bulldogs are a chance actually, but I think a lot of people see Jason Saab winning this race, and deservedly so. Everyone, even our man Rogers come out and said he's the favourite.
Well, hang on. Our man Rogers said that it's going to be Bronson Cherry.
What? Yeah, he's only saying that because they've got a relationship.
And he's got a tattoo on his leg. Saab, yeah.
Saab, I reckon the hammer only runs as fast as he wants to. Yeah, that's my...
Because you never see him grimace. He's never grimacing when he's got the ball.
Yeah.
He knows he's going to score. That was the first time he grimaced chasing Addo-Carr. He had to get out of second gear for the first time in a long time.
Again, that's where I got it from. I think I was listening to you guys talk about it on Sunday. I think he reluctantly caught Josh Addo-Carr.
He went, oh gosh, I'm going to have to show everyone how fast I really am.
And with the wingers, right? So you got Josh Addo-Carr, Xavier Savage, all these players that talk about racing against him. They don't have to conserve their energy like Hammer. Hammer plays fullback, so he's always on the move. He's required defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
So I reckon Hammer is constantly in third gear.
Are we making him run with the ball?
See, I think that would bring. I think that would go against Saab as well.
Correct.
I think Saab is more of he's a proper track runner.
Yep.
And I think if you throw the ball in, you see Saab get ankle tapped sometimes with players. You're like, how did he catch him so quickly?
But do you want to see it with the ball or just?
I want to see footy. If we're going to race, we are rugby league players,
so
they're not track.
The ball.
Yeah, chuck a footy in their hands, and I reckon Hammer wins it.
Okay, Hammer on grass with boots.
Boots. I think Sabi closes late and just misses.
Holding the pill.
Yeah.
Are we giving away? Is the Fox done?
Fox is done.
Yeah.
Too much of the carnivore for me. He's got too thick.
Okay.
He's on the carnivore diet, put on a bit juice. The one to watch out for, another one, I think will be leading after 50 is Khan Pereira.
Yep.
I think Khan Pereira is in the lead just ever so slightly. Hammer passes him, and Sabi's closing him but doesn't get there. Okay. To everyone's surprise. I think everyone's got Sabi as their winner.
I'm going to throw up 2, Savage and Kohler.
Yeah, I like Kohler, but Kohler's done his knee. He's done his knee. He's hobbling around on the weekend. You see him hobbling around? He just got back. He did his MCL or whatever.
All right, we need a smoky. I think a Dom Young might be a smoky.
Ooh. What about Herbie Farnworth?
Nah, too beautiful.
He was coming across too.
Yeah, did you see where Hammer... So Hammer, Because I got the projector out. Now, what do you call the protractor? And I had a look on the TV. He was about 3.6 metres behind, but he wasn't holding the ball.
Behind Farnworth or behind Adokar?
Adokar, 3.6 metres.
I reckon Farnworth gets there too if Hammer doesn't get him.
Okay, he can't be good at everything.
The Cowboys 42 defeated the Raiders for Jay Clifford. He started halfback, filling in for Chad Townsend. Chad Townsend's off to the Roosters next year. Fletcher, and it looks like Jay Clifford, this is a bit of a look to 2025 potentially. I know they've got some young guards coming through like your man Duffy, but Jay Clifford looks like he could be the option moving forward. He was really good, mate.
Very good.
And Val gets 3 of the best.
How good is it having as a forward, there's nothing, and Trent Barrett was the Mickey. I love playing with Baz because he was a running 5'8", and you got a running halfback now. They've got 2 gun. And when you're defending and you know, like an Adam Reynolds, for example, when you're defending against him, in the back of your mind, you know he's going to shift out the back. Very rarely will he take the line on. But when you've got these halves, Clifford and Young Dearden, they are massive threats. Massive threats.
Yeah, you could argue Clifford is probably quicker than all of them, but Dearden's got that duck and under. And another thing with Clifford, he's got a really good kicking game, and I think it's really important having that long kicking game too.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I know Matty was saying that he was a gun kid coming through, and he sometimes you just, for whatever reason, you just can't really nail a spot.
Yep.
And he went overseas, went to England, come back. But, yeah, he looked very, very good. Do you think that might be the last we see of the Chad in a Cowboys jumper?
In a Cowboys jersey, yeah. I think he's going to come down next year. I actually like him as a buy for the Roosters. Yeah. I think he's going to be a steady head. Everyone that talks, even Val after the game, I don't know if you've seen that, Val was talking about it's bittersweet for everyone because Chad's a good bloke and they all love him up there and he's a good clubman. But unfortunately,
everyone likes him except Gal.
Have they? I think they squashed that beef, haven't they?
No, they still hate each other. That's what happens down there in the Shire. They're on the Mormon swinging rort down there too. I reckon that's where Sugar is now. Everyone's saying he's a golf. He's in the soft swinging.
What about Ricky's Raiders, mate? They're done.
Yeah, gone.
They've all the youngsters started really well, and then they've hit the wall.
It's a long year.
Yeah,
didn't help that they had their best player or their organiser, their little general, Jamal out for such an extended length.
Ricky was furious that all the media never brought that up enough. Do you know that too? He was blowing up. Like you always talk about all these. Reynolds is out all the time. You talk about that. He goes, you never bring up that Fogarty's out. He's our guy, and that's true, right? Because out of sight, out of mind at Canberra.
Yeah,
they're out of mind. They're out of sight now. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're gone. So where are they? The Raiders. You can't look. They're for and against.
Yeah, they're like
fourth worst.
They're like the Dragons. During the middle part of the year, they'd go sort of win-loss, or 2 or 3 in a row and then 3 in a row. But when they lose in dramatic fashion.
Yep.
And like the Dragons getting pumped by the Roosters.
Your old team, the Seagulls, 24 defeated the Warriors 10.
What's your read on Manly? Because I don't know. I'm a little bit standoffish still. And I don't know. It's because, obviously I want them to win because, I had some success there myself or whether I'm,
I just can't trust them.
Yeah, same.
I can't trust them. Where I said last night on Matty's show, I said I think the Dogs can win the comp. I got hammered, and I said, well, I can trust them.
I'm with you.
You know what you're going to get, and with the Seagulls, I just got not that they're flaky. I'm not saying they're flaky.
Do you reckon it's anything to do with Turbo, like the hesitation around the injury history?
If he doesn't aim up.
Well, he's got to have a 2021 sort of run.
No, I don't think he has to do that. He's got Brooks now.
Yeah.
And Brooksy, and by the way, it looks like he's going to be playing his first
How good's that?
finals. Oh, it's so good. We've got a treat. He's on the show on Sunday, Matty's show. We've got a big treat for him. I don't want to... don't want to divulge. What's the word? Divulge? What's the word?
Divulge.
Too much.
He doesn't really do much stuff, Brooksy, but he likes doing stuff with Matty A. He did the podcast at the start of the year. He's very hard.
You try to get him on?
No, you can just tell. I've just, in my opinion, from afar, he's been under the pump for 10 years basically. Yeah. So he's very rarely wants to put his hand up for media.
Yeah, okay.
But he looks like he likes doing stuff with Matty. I mean, you get all the stuff with Fox straight after the games with the players.
Yeah, well, they've got to
do a little bit more so, but
you've got to do that. Otherwise,
in the podcast game, it's he's not the guy that you'd want to go, come on, mate, let's come on and talk about the Tigers in years past, right?
Right, okay.
Anyway, your gang, the Roosters 38 defeated the Eels 14. Oh, just quickly before that, the Warriors, SJ, couple of games to go.
Yes, it's quite a career.
he'll last game at Mount Smart, and then ironically, Sharks are their last game before the bye.
So hopefully he can come through unscathed, and the boys can send him off. They were in the fight. They were in the fight again. Just
been a weird old season for them because they're talented enough. There are a couple of teams in the 8 that if the Warriors were in there, I'd worry about them a little bit more.
Yes.
Like the Sharkies, I'm not as convinced on the Sharks. Even the Dragons in a final series, I know they're going to be hard to beat during the regular season, but I'm not too worried about them. I think the Warriors would cause more teams dramas if they actually got to the finals, but they haven't done that. They're not good enough.
And it's disappointing for a Warriors fan considering what they did last year, and everyone was up and about, and all the supporters got around them. The sellout for every home game. So, no, we move on. Roosters 38. Yeah, they did it quite comfortably. They did it. They've done this a couple of times this year when they get out out of the blocks, and sometimes the opposition can catch them. I.e., the Warriors almost got them. Manly almost got them, but on Friday night, the Eels they've had a bludger of a year. Bludge.
They're clearly the Eels have been a tough carry now for a while. The Roosters, they're the obvious choice out of the top 2, but the one thing that's hanging over them is their record against those 2 teams.
Yeah.
If you didn't know about their record, you'd say this is a competition between 3 teams,
Correct.
And then maybe even you could talk yourself into the Bulldogs, in my opinion.
And now Gordon Brooks, a.k.a. Nathan Tallis, he had a bit of a crack at the Chooks. He came out and he said this. What did you say, Brooksy?
Gordon Brooks.
Yeah, he said.
You got a tweet. Was he on X, was he?
Wasn't a
text message?
It was Roosters 10 from 10 versus the bottom 9. Roosters 3 out of 10 versus the top 8. # fraudulent Friday. So him and Tallis are just Rooster haters way back. Where's Pedro?
And they've only just got those last couple of wins up recently, haven't they? Manly and the Dolphins. They weren't convincing in either of those 2, Fletcher.
Okay. Well, for whatever reason, when they play those top 2 teams, whether it's their style they're playing or do they go on their shell or they think they've got to compete the same way, sort of grinding wins, I don't know. But young Sammy Walker, he is the Mickey. He's the X factor.
What about Mickey Nawaka Nitawasi?
Yeah, he played second grade the other day. Don't know whether he'll get a start this year.
Yeah, he's probably just getting those reps in for next year, right? When Joey Manu and Joseph Swiley move on.
The Cheese was saying that they did a scrimmage against first grade and reserve grade, his first training session, and they kicked across field, and usually Toops just outleaps whoever he's marking, and he has been doing it for about 15 years. And he said this off the bat, big marking mark just up over the top of him and ran the length.
How good's that?
Yeah, couldn't catch him. So there is good signs there. You would think that he would be starting winger next year, or maybe he can play centre.
I think centres potentially because he's got the background in Union of playing multiple positions, so he'll be able to play. He's played centres for the Wallabies and that, Brooksy, right? And played a bit of fullback, I believe, as well. So
Marky Mark, good hair. I like his
Marky
hair.
Mark. The West Tigers versus Rabbitohs, that was a tough carry for everyone watching it. But the West Tigers get the win, 18-16, and takes a little bit of pressure off Benj, I suppose. Fletch.
Yeah, it. Well, I got the perfect round last week. I don't want to sound like Gus, but I told you so. You
got the full round, did
you?
Full
round.
Nice.
Well, I went for a couple of upsets.
Do you have a tipping comp in that here at SEN?
We did, and I was leading it until someone wouldn't. Brasco Dom just gave up on me.
Because I remember I used to see it halfway through the year, and I haven't seen it in a while. So
where has he gone?
Let's get that going for 2025, eh?
Oh, he's at the USC. No, he came in and said, I said, what happened? Because I was leading.
Yeah.
I think I get some sort of, I think I might get 10 Mizuno balls or something. Oh, Aussie hose, yeah. And I said, mate, I'm leading this. And he goes, no, we decided to stop it. And I said, why? And he goes, no one got their tips in. And I said, that's bullshit.
Isn't that don't you do that on the show every Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday when you do the run home? So that's easy to just go back and look at go back and get it there through there, Dom. What about this one with the Eels versus West Tigers now? It's looking like the Spoon Bowl was back on.
Yes. So let's have a look at
because now they're on the same points.
No, they're not. No, West Tigers are 2 behind.
Oh, that must be an old one because they've now gone to.
Yeah, they've won 5.
Are they?
Tigers have won 5.
They're definitely on the same points.
They've both won 5, but
there must be a little error with that. For
no
some
draw.
reason.
No bye.
Gotcha.
Tigers got a bye, so it's going to.
Do Tigers have a bye as well?
Yeah, they've only had 2.
Oh, that's huge.
They've only had 2 buys. So the third...
Yeah, buys this week.
So
Lost their 2.
They'll go to 16. That's right. Then they'll be equal. And then the Spoon Bowl will be...
Last round.
Oh,
Live on SEN. How good's that? That's going to be... I'm calling it. There you go.
I might
you want to jump on that one too, Fletch?
No, I can't. I've got to do something else. But we got a text from Bob. Hey, boys, it's a remarkable day today. I've just had my first kumquat. I'm 58. Interesting taste. More interesting name. Never seen one before. Am I alone? I don't think I've ever had a kumquat either. Are they like a... Well, tell us what they're like, Bob. I know it's a fruit. Is it citrus?
Yeah, I think it's a citrus.
Never heard of it before.
How would you know?
Like a citrusy apricot.
You wouldn't have him in the UK.
I've had fruits before. I don't look like it, but I've had
You
fruits
haven't
before.
you haven't had kumquats. Like an orange?
It's a bit like a calamansi.
You know what I can't get around? Grapefruit.
Too bitter.
It sounds very islandy.
Kumquat.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Like you find it in Fiji, Cook Island, something like that.
Oh, I thought you meant from Ireland.
Islandy.
Sorry, you're thinking like in the Pacific Islands. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it might be some roads and some tolls.